we should all understand and agree when someone kills another person, that is a bad thing. It don't matter what color, it don't matter what age, it don't matter what male or female or anything in between. When people die, that is a bad thing. And as a society, we should try our best. Like, we're not going to eradicate killings and murders, but we should try to figure out a solution. And if it's something that we can tackle as a human species, like, that should be what we should be aiming towards, right? But of course not. Hey, welcome to reality, because we don't do that around here. In America, we politicize anything and everything. If it's going to push our agenda, if it's going to push our narrative, if it's going to push our party, we're going to politicize people dying. Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a clip from my previous live stream that I did. Just want to let you know I go live every Sunday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is, go ahead and Google that so you can meet me and have a conversation on my next stream. Once again, I appreciate you clicking this video. Now let's enjoy the video. Once again, when it comes to news of people getting killed, people dying, getting murdered, the whole 9 yards, I really don't like covering news like that. Like, first off, I don't like seeing stuff like that. I don't even like seeing fighting videos, people fight. Like, I just don't like seeing that unless it's like boxing or something, or a movie where I know it's fake, but it looks, but seeing it in real life, I'm not the one to like watch stuff like that. So my channel, I try to stay away from covering news like that, because I feel weird as an individual making content which is being monetized on YouTube, talking about someone dying, let alone people clicking my video and I'm getting paid for it. Like, to me, that's just a weird thing. So it's not normal that I cover stories like this, but this is a political channel, and unfortunately, this is why we hate politics. People purposely take these type of situations and make them political, which you don't have to. We should all understand and agree when someone kills another person, that is a bad thing. It don't matter what color, it don't matter what age, it don't matter what male or female or anything in between. When people die, that is a bad thing. And as a society, we should try our best. Like, we're not going to eradicate killings and murders, but we should try to figure out a solution. And if it's something that we can tackle as a human species, like, that should be what we should be aiming towards, right? But of course not. Hey, welcome to reality, because we don't do that around here. In America, we politicize anything and everything. If it's going to push our agenda, if it's going to push our narrative, if it's going to push our party, we're going to politicize people dying. And we know at the end of the day, these networks, these political pundits, these political commentators, they don't care about these people at the end of the day. And I'm talking about people on CNN to people on Fox News. When black people die, CNN pretends as if they care, but at the end of the day, they don't care. And in this situation, Irina Zaruka, hopefully I'm not pronouncing that wrong, but Fox News is sitting here segment after segment championing this story, which is a good thing. But we know at the end of the day, they don't even care. So it's like, now we have to talk about this. So just in case if you don't know what's going on, let's go ahead and watch The Hill kind of give a just a briefing. So for just in case if you don't know what is happening, let's take a listen.
Well, the national
Let's pause there.
Mainstream media is finally paying some attention to the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska, 23-year-old woman who escaped war-torn Ukraine only to be stabbed to death on public transportation in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. Now, the alleged killer, DeCarlos Brown, is a schizophrenic man who had been arrested 14 times, previously incarcerated for 5 years. The horrifying attack was captured on surveillance camera. Now, in the footage, Brown can be seen sitting behind Zarutska, and he stands up, and without warning or provocation, he stabs her repeatedly in the neck, killing her. The footage was shared widely on social media, where it drew significant interest, horror, and shock for many people, including many conservative commentators who see this incident as an example of the violent crime problem in predominantly blue cities. It's also an example of the media's double standard. There's no way around it. When Daniel Penny, a white former Marine, intervened on a subway train in New York City to stop a mentally ill black man, Jordan Neely, who was threatening commuters and had previously assaulted 3 women on the subway and accidentally killed him while restraining him in a chokehold, well, this became a major national news story. It was covered relentlessly by the media. It sparked widespread protesting among left-wing progressive activists. It was a big deal. Penny, by the way, was eventually acquitted of manslaughter. Many of his fellow passengers testified at his trial that Neely was threatening them, and they were relieved that Penny had the courage to act. Unfortunately, no one on the train with Irina Zarutska could have prevented DeCarlos Brown from suddenly and without any warning viciously attacking and killing her. The ability to protect the public from DeCarlos Brown ended when he was released back onto the streets. More on that in a minute. Now, this murder took...
So now let's have a conversation before we get into the CNN coverage, because as much as I despise CNN, they do have some pretty decent conversations. I don't even know what that means, but they have decent conversations. But when it comes to situations like this, like I said before, not everything has to be politicized. And people who do that 9 times out of 10 are bad faith actors. And I've said this during the whole Jordan Neely situation. You can go look back. It probably only had like a few hundred views because unfortunately people don't like to be informed. They just like the clickbait and just the arguments behind it. But I said, even in that video, this is not a black and white situation. Of course, we can look at the statistics and the data. It does back up the anger behind it from the black community, which I do understand. But if we can try to zoom out as black folks, if you're watching, please listen, hear me out. If we can zoom out and say, hey, we have an issue with people and homelessness. When this interaction is happening, we have an issue with that. We have an issue with our institutions, once again, letting us down when it comes to taking care of homelessness, people with mental illness, which is a real thing. If you look at the backstory of the individual that killed this young lady, something was wrong in his head. It not for pretend, like he was literally diagnosed with schizophrenia, which once again, if that's incorrect, I apologize, but he had an issue and he went to prison 5 years and they just spit him back out. That is not helpful to anybody. And once again, this is not just a blue state thing. We can look up red states just in the past week, and I'm pretty sure we're going to find somebody who killed somebody else. So for people that are just trying to politicize this, you're literally the reason why we hate politics. But here's some stats for you, because once again, this is not a blue thing. This is not a red thing. This is a America thing. Amongst violent offenders released from federal prison, about 63.8% are rearrested during a follow-up period. This includes arrests for any offense or violations of supervision conditions. Across the U.S., around 70% of all released prisoners, not just violent offenders, are rearrested within 5 years. Just like the gun issues that we have here in America is good for those who are just looking for those clickable moments. just to have their viral moments. But at the end of the day, in a week, in a month, people are not going to care about this. Once again, if we really want to focus on solutions, which I will have at the end of this video, if we really want to have conversations on those solutions, we need to have those. If not, then we're just going to keep going in circles. But let's go ahead, go to CNN and see what they're talking about.
Unfortunately, we don't have services that they used to have for mentally ill people in terms of dealing with them. And I think the problem here is, I'm guessing the Trump administration was looking for an example. This video was quite disturbing. You have the combination of social media at the same time blowing it up, and so it creates sort of the perfect storm to point to something. Just like when Dukakis, when he was running for president, Lee Atwater took advantage of that one incident that was terrible, that was very troubling for voters once they called attention to it.
So certain people have been looking for an opportunity to find a case like this, to make a point like this. I want to play, this is Charlie Kirk, why he says this hasn't gotten a lot of attention.
A white Ukrainian refugee was murdered just because she was white. Everybody knows that, obviously. If a random white person simply walked up to and stabbed a nice, law-abiding black person for no reason, it would be an apocalyptically huge national story used to impose national sweeping political changes on the whole country. Instead, Megan Basham, no one seems to care when a white woman gets stabbed to the death.
Wow.
All right. That is crazy. Okay, where do I begin? First off, Charlie Kirk is a POS. Okay, like, we already know he's going to purposely try to spew and spin this in any way, shape, or form to continue to, prolong his white supremacy talking points here. Okay, first off, this happened about a week and some change ago. If he was worried about people covering this story, Fox News didn't cover this a week ago. Trump didn't cover this a week ago. Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, this was covered on a local level. Because like I said, this happens throughout America all the time. So the local news covered it. Just so happened now, a week later, now it's making the national news. Once again, Fox News didn't cover this. So they kind of miss me with the BS when they say, oh, they're trying to cover up this story. No, I just heard about this yesterday. So, like, this is not a cover up. Now, let's get into what he is trying to imply here, which on one leg, he does have a point, or at least his strategy here, because if it was reversed, a white man kills a black woman, I'm pretty sure black folks all over America would be upset, saying that this was racism, saying that, once again, Black Lives Matter, which they do. Trust me, I get it. But with no proof that this was racially targeted, black folks would be screaming that this is racism. And once again, when you're just saying everything is racism, you're watering down what real racism is. And once again, if there's no proof, if there's no manifesto, if there's no anything to point that this was racially targeted, then let's not make this a racial thing. So now what Charlie Kirk is doing is making this a racial thing, and there's no proof of that being a racial attack. Once again, oh, we know he attacked her because she's white. Where do you get that from? I don't get it. There's no proof. There's no messages. There's no last letter, no will, no nothing. But no, he's just playing the race card just to play it, and he knows it's going to get to his white audience. And once again, black folks, I'm talking to you right now. This is what happens when we racialize every situation that does not need to be racialized. We can still get things solved and not have to make it a black versus white or white versus black, like Jordan Neely in that situation. It didn't have to. And once again, I've been consistent in this messaging. You can go back and watch it. I've been saying the same thing here. So let's continue.
He said white a lot.
Well, we are talking about it here on ABC, so I guess
True.
I mean, I don't think that's fair. Look, being in the system, because I have represented people who are mentally ill, and here's the balance. The balance is taking away people's freedom versus evaluating their mental illness. And New York City, there are a lot of programs for people who are mentally ill, but they have to want to be there.
Yeah, and it's
about
difficult
forcing them to be there.
when you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill. But also, I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, Van, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation. And that's the part that I think he's almost giving away the game. And it's sad to see a lot of people going along with it.
You know, let me just say a couple of things. One is, I mean, what happened to that young woman was horrible. And it's everybody's nightmare. If you're in any public space, a subway, whatever, that something bad is going to happen to you or somebody you care about. So it does strike a chord. We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering, it's wrong. Then he says that if something like that had happened the other way, there would be sweeping changes imposed on society. Where is the George Floyd Policing Act? It didn't pass. Even when you had a white police officer murder a black man on live television, the whole world saw, there were no sweeping changes. In fact, not one law was passed at the federal level. So I think that's an important thing to point out.
So once again, Van makes a good point, even though I don't know how to feel about Mr. Van Jones, but he's right. Once again, when it comes to crimes that happen against black people, it seems to only cap off. The roof is at protesting. And once again, we done talked about this when it comes to actually creating legislation and protecting black people. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We might as well fight for reparations. That might come quicker than them creating laws and something meaningful for black folks. So once again, Van is right. You see, but once again, like they hinted at it, this is all just for show. You see what I'm saying? Like Charlie Kirk proved it right there. He knows what he wants to tell his audience, and they're eating this up because they don't want to hear nothing else. And unfortunately, there's black folks out there that don't want to hear nothing else except for they're just killing black people because they're all racist. That's all that they want to hear. And if we're being honest, I'm going to keep repeating this. Not every situation is rooted in racism. Once again, I'm sorry. Because if we try to go down this rabbit hole, these racist people like Charlie Kirk are going to do the same thing. And it's always going to be competing in who gets brutalized more, which is not a conversation I want to have. Oh no, they kill us more. Oh no, they kill us more. Like really? That's the conversation you want to have? But of course, it gets the clicks, right?
Now, the other thing is, you mentioned the thing about cashless bail. I think this is a big challenge that we have. Would you have felt better if there had been cash bail and the mom had come and put down $1,000 to let him out? It's not about cashless bail or no cashless bail. It's about the fact that we don't know how to deal with people who are hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible, but it becomes an opportunity for people to jump on bandwagons. And then for someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him. What people mention is the horror of what.
Hey, and that's what. And that's where the video cuts out. Let me make sure the stream is still going good. But once again, over here, when we're having conversations, We just don't look at the situation. We try to, at least to the best of our abilities, try to come up with solutions. And as a progressive, we should always be ready to explain at least our solution as a progressive. I mean, it doesn't make any sense just to complain about a situation, but don't have any follow-up. So here's my humble opinion on some things that maybe could fix something. It's not going to solve it, 100%. That's never going to happen, but it's better than throwing people in jail, getting rid of cash payment, just whatever, throw people in jail 5, 10, 15 years, throw them back out, expecting that to change people, which it doesn't. And I got the information right here. Once again, across the U.S., around 70% of all released prisoners, not just violent offenders, are rearrested within 5 years. So here's 3 solutions that I could think of that might do some good. Once again, if you guys have anything else, let me know in the comments or let me know in the live chat right now. And we could definitely talk about it. But 1, focus on rehabilitation while inside and provide real re-entry support when people return home. I'm talking about actual doctors, therapists to intervene with these people before they are released. I mean, once again, I never been to therapy. I never been into a situation like that. But if you actually provide these resources to people, it might help somebody. It might help somebody. But I know it's better than just throwing people in prison for 5 years and spitting them right back out thinking that's going to change somebody. Because I know some people who went to prison, and trust me, you are not sitting there thinking on how to, better improve your life. If anything, you're going to come out even worse after going through prison for 5 years. So I'm just saying. 2, expand GED programs, vocational training, and even college courses in prison. Education is liberation. Sometimes we need to educate people. Look at Malcolm X. When he went into prison, he found religion. He started educating himself, became a better person. Sometimes if we provide, while people are just sitting there, if we provide resources to help them better themselves, educate themselves, learn a trade, get them excited to go out there and make a better life. But once again, that is better than just doing nothing. And then last, this might be crazy. I'm sorry. It might be crazy. Provide housing, job placement, and counseling after release so people don't fall back into their crimes, into their old lifestyle, into their bad habits. Once again, if you invest in people, that might make them want to invest into themselves. We see it with businesses all the time. So instead of just trying to invest into other rich people, let's try to actually invest into the least of these, into those who need some help. That's simple. But, just like I said, when it comes to kids being shot up in schools, what happens? Literally a few weeks ago, kids at a Catholic school, kids, little tiny ones, shot up. And what now? What's happening now? No conversation about it. I don't see Fox News still raging about it. No, because they don't care at the end of the day. So once again, this is all just to get people frustrated so they can make sure they vote Republican next time. That's what all this is. And once again, that is literally why I hate politics, because they don't care at the end of the day. I don't watch 4 or 5 segments of Fox News and some other Fox News type of program. They screamed up and down, racism that, white this, white that, black this, black that, black crime, all this stuff, and not one solution or reasonable solution. They just said throw everybody in jail. I'm sorry, that's not a solution. But not one reasonable solution to help these people instead of just throwing them into jail. I'm sorry, the statistics say that doesn't work. So we need to try something new if they care, but they don't.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me, you know that.